Shinto and Buddhism are Japan's two major religions. Shinto is as old as the Japanese culture, while Buddhism was imported from the mainland in the 6th century. Shinto means the way of the gods. It started as long as 1000 BCE, but is still practiced today by at least 4 million people. The followers of Shintoism believe that spiritual powers exist in the natural world. Japan acquired Buddhism under influence from Korea, who was influenced by the Chinese. It was founded about 2,500 years ago by Siddhartha Gautama, known as the Buddha, when he was enlightened. They believe in the cycle of rebirth, that beings go through a succession of lifetimes as one of many possible forms of life. This cycle is affected by karma. Buddhism is common in Asia, and around 376 million people in the world follow it.
The government of Japan is a constitutional monarchy in which the power of the emperor is limited. The government is divided into three branches: the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. The emperor of Japan is the head of the imperial family and ceremonial head of state. He has no real powers related to the government as stated clearly in Article 4 of the Constitution. The emperor is the only person that has the authority to appoint the prime minister. The executive branch of Japan is headed by the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is the head of the cabinet and is designated by the legislative organ. The National Diet. The cabinet of Japan consists of the ministers of state and the Prime Minister. The members of the cabinet are appointed by the Prime Minister. The legislative branch of Japan is the National Diet. It is a bicameral legislature composed of the lower house, the House of Representatives, and the upper house, the House of Councilors. The judicial branch of Japan consists of the Supreme Court and 4 other lower courts: the High Courts, the District Courts, Family Courts, and Summary Courts. The current Emperor, Akihito, became the 125th Emperor of Japan in 1990. The current Prime Minister, Shinzo Abe, was first elected to position in 2006. He went through a sudden unpopularity rating designed on September 12, 2007. He was re-elected on December 12, 2012, and he was held in office since.
In the years 500 to 600, Buddhism comes to Japan. Today, more than 70% of Japanese are Buddhists. In the years 1274 to 1281, military dictators known as shoguns ruled Japan and successfully keep invaders out of their country. In 1910, Japan takes over the Korean Peninsula and rules it for 35 years until 1945. In 1923, the Great Kanto earthquake, one of the worst quakes in world history, destroys Tokyo and Yokohama. More than 140,000 people are killed. In the years 1940 to 1941, Japan becomes an ally of Germany and Italy in World War II. On December 7, 1941, Japan attacks Pearl Harbor and the U.S. naval base in Hawaii. In 1945, U.S. drops atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Japan surrenders. In 1955, a major earthquake hits central Japan. In 2011, a massive offshore earthquake and tsunami caused major damage to cities. The country faces a nuclear threat when a power plant is severely damaged. Breaking news: Japan's maglev bullet train just topped its previous record of 366 miles per hour by traveling 374 miles per hour in a test run. That means this train can travel a mile in 10 seconds. That also means that Japan's new maglev train is the fastest in the world.
This train levitates to create a frictionless ride, but right now it is with prototypes, so people have to wait till year 2027 to ride. The main physical features in Japan are the Japanese Alps, Mount Fuji, and the island itself. Was an archipelago. Japan is made up of thousands of islands.
The customs are on March 3rd, they celebrate the Dolls Festival. On May 3rd, they celebrate Constitution Day. On July 13th to August 15th, they celebrate Obon. On December 23rd, they celebrate the Emperor's birthday. And on November 23rd, they celebrate Labor Day or Thanksgiving. For the leisure activities, they do karaoke, gambling, aesthetics, manga, onsen, and card games.
Japan is considered a more developed country because of its high GDP per capita, a high life expectancy rate, and an almost perfect literacy rate. The population pyramid shows that they have a low birth rate and is almost even all the way. The population of Japan is mainly distributed throughout southwest to the southeast. The indicators show that the people have good jobs and make a good amount of money, that they live long, which means they have good health care, and that almost all the people are able to read and write due to a good educational system. In Japan, 78% of people live in the coastal region called the Tokaido Corridor. This is the series of crowded cities on the main island of Honshu. This includes Tokyo, the world's most populated urban area.
Two main dishes are sushi, raw fish and rice, and sukiyaki, sliced beef and soup. The appetizers are white rice and tempura and udon, noodles and soup. And the two desserts are higashi sugar clumps and peanut amanado, which is sugar and peanuts.